we can pretty solidly date David to 1000 BC.
Right.
Right? We have archaeological evidence. Right? David as a king of Israel is attested in archaeological evidence and attested in the Bible, of course.
Hmm.
And for the most part, there is very little disagreement about there's very little disagreement about whether David existed, and there's very little disagreement about the time about when he lived. Pretty much everyone agrees it's around 1000 BC, maybe 100 years later, but 1000 BC, that's pretty safe.
Right.
So the reason why the time period of Judges is so difficult is because there is virtually no agreement about Moses. So, right, like there's virtually no agreement about when Moses lived, and there's almost no agreement about no universal agreement about whether he was an actual character or not, like he was a historical figure. So there's right, and the reason is because right, I mean the Bible presents Moses as being very influential in Egyptian government, but there's no record of Moses' existence in the Egyptian records, and virtually like there seems to be there's virtually no way to like pin down Moses to an actual date that would appear to satisfy all of the evidence.
Hmm.
Right? It's like if you believe Moses is a historical figure and you want to assign him a date like when he lived, it's like you have problems you have to deal with no matter what.
Hmm.
So yeah. So that's why you get like this length of the period this is a long way about answering your question, right? There's right some right who have a high view of scripture would take the view of right Moses was probably closer to 1200 BC, and so the period of the Judges is like 200 years. Others would say no, he's closer to 1400 BC, and so the period of the Judges is about 400 years. um we just don't know. And after, I mean, like the amount of archaeological evidence that we have, at least from the Levant, before 1000 BC is just very small.
Yeah.
Like we have hardly anything from before 1000 BC. You're really pushing the limits of the archaeological record at that point.